And now I'll request the Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Sadanand Gowda, our Honorable Minister, and the Honorable Justice Mukul Mudgal to kindly release the ASSOCHAM Law Senate Knowledge Report, which has been prepared by ASSOCHAM with Law Senate, and it's called as the Strengthening Economy Through Judicial Reforms, the Knowledge Report. The knowledge paper, ladies and gentlemen, officially now released by the Honorable Chief Guest. The knowledge report has been jointly prepared by the Law Senate.
Honorable Mr. Justice Shri Mukul Mudgalji, Shri R.K. Hando, Advocate and Chairman, ASSOCHAM National Council on Legal Affairs, other dignitaries on the dais, respected delegates, friends from media. Really, I am very glad to be here on the conference on strengthening economy through judicial reforms. Being a law minister, it is my duty and responsibility to take suggestions, and that suggestion should be converted into reality through bills and acts. So really, this national conference on an important issue related to strengthening of economy through judicial reforms is the need of the hour, because this government is giving prime importance to the agenda of ease of making business in India. In the current focus on making India an attractive destination for investment, a lot of attention is being paid to the economic policy. The World Economic Reforms Global Economic Report 2008-9 has indicated a correlation between a nation's prosperity and its perceptions of judicial independence and the efficiency on its legal framework. Providing a fair, transparent, and efficient dispute resolution mechanism based on a clear legal framework is the key to encouraging investment of capital, thereby stimulating growth and development. If we desire to be recognized as a destination of choice for trade and commerce, it is imperative for us to focus on building an effective judicial system as an integral part of our economic reforms. Accelerated justice will free up billions of dollars blocked in litigation against projects in several parts of the country and enable it to be put in productive use. Improving judicial productivity through systematic changes is very important. It is said that nearly 70% of the civil cases in Australia, United States and Canada are settled even before the trial begins. This is because both the parties to the litigation are aware of the probable time period, outcome date certainly. Some of the measures being undertaken on priority basis for ensuring the timely and effective enforcement of commercial contracts involve exploring the possibility of setting up of specialized fast-track courts, tribunals at the subordinate level and specialized commercial divisions at the high court level to deal with the commercial cases and encouraging arbitration to resolve contractual disputes. This is in addition to the proposals that are being persuaded for the adoption of information technology solutions and court and case management systems for handling such issues. The Law Commission of India has recently submitted its 253rd report on Commercial Division and Commercial Appellate Division of High Courts and Commercial Courts Bill 2015, containing their recommendations on speedy disposal of high-value commercial suits. The reports contain several valuable suggestions that are being examined by the government. Practically, we had a detailed discussion as far as the establishment of commercial benches in the high courts, in the cabinet also, and our Honorable Prime Minister has already directed me to bring out this legislation at the earliest. I hope that already the Law Commission has also given its report to me. I am trying to place this bill in the coming sessions. Some of the areas of concern that need to be taken up urgently are inadequacy of judicial manpower, non-implementation of existing provisions aimed at expeditious disposal of cases, indiscriminate use of writ jurisdiction, need for bar reforms, national and state litigation policies. Already a draft national litigation policy is before me. Only thing is I have to take it before the cabinet and I have to take the approval of the cabinet. I hope that within a fortnight I will be able to take this matter before the cabinet and I will take up this issue, and national litigation policy will bring several reforms in judicial system. There is a need to develop an appropriate institutional framework so that more and more disputes may be resolved using alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. This involves setting up an adequate number of ADR centers, providing training to mediators and arbitrators, and creating awareness about ADR process. This will help in reducing the burden of courts while at the same time providing parties with recourse to timely settlement of disputes. The government will shortly bring out necessary amendments to the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. Arbitration and Conciliation Act is ready in my hands. Already the cabinet also given a clear note for this, especially three important areas where some stringent steps and stringent measures are being taken, time-bound disposal and fee structure. All these things are covered in that act. I hope that in the next session, budget session, we will be able to pass this Arbitration and Conciliation Act. At the same time, what was observed by the Honorable Justice, that with regard to the amendment to the to Section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, a proposal to amend the Negotiable Instrument Act to introduce measures to resolve the cases arising under Section 138 through ADR mechanism is currently under consideration. Similarly, the draft Road Transport and Safety Bill 2014 is prepared by the Ministry of Road Transport. It will introduce provisions for reduction of traffic challan cases and resolution of traffic cases without resorting to litigation, as well as expeditious disposal of motor vehicle accidents. Many laws that have been outdated and are no longer relevant continue to remain in statute book. The government has started to process the repeal of 36 original acts, 750 amending acts, and about 900 appropriation bills to clean up the statute book. Already 2 bills are moved before the Parliament. It has been referred to the Standing Committee. I hope that before the next session, Standing Committee report will come and will take up this matter. The adoption of information and communication technology in the administration of justice is another important area. This will help pave the way for revamping court processes, adopting court and case management systems, and overall process re-engineering of judicial system. All this is sought to be achieved through the e-court mission mode project that is being implemented by the Department of Justice in association with the Supreme Court E-Committee and National Informatics Center. The objective of the e-court project is to provide designated services to the citizens as well courts by ICT enablement of all district and subordinate courts. Phase 1 of this project focused on the computerization of subordinate courts, which will be followed by setting up of the centralized filing centers, digitization of documents, adoption of document management systems, creation of e-filing and e-payment gateways in phase 2 of the project that was approved by the E-Committee of the Supreme Court in January 2014. Another area that needs urgent attention is the lack of comprehensive and accurate data relating to court cases. Positive steps in this direction have been initiated through the launch of eCode portal, which aims at creating the National Judicial Data Grid, providing citizens with the online information about case filings, case status, and electronic copies of orders and judgments from courts that have already been computerized. However, we are still few steps away from providing real-time access to judicial data grid. Ensuring the availability of such real-time justice statistics at the earliest possible will go a long way in enhancing transparency and accountability in our judicial legal system. It will also encourage more insightful research and studies on various issues relating to judicial administration. The successful completion of these initiatives for judicial reforms is the priority of this government. As I said, ease of doing business in India is one of the prime agenda of our government, and we are working on it. Especially Arbitration and Conciliation Act amendment, plus the establishment of commercial benches in the high courts, and amendment to the Negotiable Instrument Act are the prime concerns of the law department, and we will take up this issue as early as possible. Totally, the whole judicial system has to be revamped and taken care of, because as rightly said by my friend, the world ranking is in such a position. Even we have seen that the arbitration cases, nobody is interested to file arbitration cases in India. They go to Singapore, they go to London, they go to some other parts of the world. So if you are able to give much importance to these factors, certainly the ease of doing business in India will be taken, it will be take one step ahead. So I hope that we are looking at all these aspects, and I request the SOCM to give all sorts of suggestions which will be taken care of by the law department, and we hope that this government will certainly with the investors, and it will be investor-friendly government, and we see that the industries which should come up at the earliest, so that we hope that India should once again should be within the expected ranking in the list of countries across the world. Thank you, one and all.